welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. You know, I'm going to show you what my blood sugar is, but let's take a look. I can't. This is the down part about sensors. Right now, the sensor I work with has a 2 hour warm up window. Some have less, but for mine, it's just a warm up window of 2 hours. And we're getting close to the end of it, probably in about 7 minutes. It'll start recording, so we'll take a look back. But I just thought that would be a little bit of an interesting tidbit. Today, we're going to discuss benefits and what benefits are out there. Now, I'm going to discuss from the Canadian viewpoint and from the province of British Columbia. That is two things that I have to do because this is where I live. And I don't know for the rest of Canada what the individual provinces have. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, benefits. Why, what, or sorry, how do I live without going to work? And trust me, for many years I worked for a convenience store chain and a grocery store chain, and also eyeglasses. Yes, I managed an optical store. So I did do my time working. I guess I was about 52. Yeah, I guess when I retired from work. So I was not too far off. I'm still only 62 right now. So roughly about 10 years. Now, I graduated and I stopped working and it really wasn't a big thing. I wasn't getting many hours. I was working at a grocery store, which was unionized, so you were down at the bottom of the chain, and I was getting very few hours because they had so much more staff. So I didn't do that well. So I went to the ministry here, who covers workplace repayment, or it's basically welfare. And I got in line and I had to report any money I earned. And I got a very little amount, to the point where I wasn't getting much money. I had very little money to buy what I needed, talking medical stuff, food wise. It was very tight. So I got supplemented from welfare. I didn't go on full welfare for about a year after that. And I went to see my endocrinologist. And she sort of said, "How much are you getting? Are you able to live off that?" And I said, "Well, it's tight. The only way I could get more is if I was disabled." Not thinking what would come next, she said, "Well, we've done so much." By this point, I had done many different therapies. I was still having problems with lows at night. So it all kind of settled down. Lo and behold, she came back and said, "I think you're disabled." And I said, "I'll look into it." And she said, "Bring me any paperwork, I'll fill it out for you." I thought, okay. So I went to the office, spoke to one of their workers, and I've usually had a pretty good experiences with workers at the local welfare. And I said, "I need to inquire about," I just said, "disability." And she said, "Well, here's a book. You have to fill this out and then submit it in, and we'll take a look from there." So I took it to my doctor. I filled out what I had to. She filled it out. She said, "There's also CPP disability you may want to apply for." She indicated that it usually harder to get CPP and easier to get BC. If you met the qualifications. I actually found out the opposite. I gave my little form, filled it all out, and I submitted it. I was almost granted. Next month, I was placed person with disability. And I was on the disability. I got a set amount. I no longer had to do reporting, because when you're on welfare, you have to do reporting months. What did you do? Are you currently looking for work? Don't have to do that anymore. It was pretty nice, but it still wasn't enough to live. But in the meantime, we had filled out paperwork and sent it off to, sorry, had a nurse in here. And so I don't know where I was in the story, but I had applied for CPP. CPP took a long time. It seemed like long. I think it was about 3 months. And then I was on CPP, all for my diabetes. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone will get CPP disability payments and you don't have to work, and it's just so much wonderful. It's a pain in the butt. You have to be able to show that you do 14 hours of work with your disability. Uh, I've since have other things wrong. I can't be in a chair right now. Hopefully soon I'll be able to get more into a chair. But thinking that came through as soon as I applied. BC took a while. They kept saying, well, we need more proof. Here, fill out this form. We need more proof. Here, fill out this form. But once I got it, now I'm into a routine. They know I'm a disabled person living with type 1 diabetes. Most people who have type 1 diabetes are not disabled people. Pure and simple. You can do your diabetes, you can go to work. But if you think you are, the first step is to do kind of what I did without really knowing that, is to apply for disability from your doctor. Sit down with them, say, this disability is really taking me for a loop, or I think I'm disabled, and see what they say. See if they think you'd fit into the parameters of the disability. It's all pretty good. Now, there is no thing that you can get for diabetes all the time. It's actually really kind of hard to prove that you are a disabled diabetic, especially in type 1. I think type 2 it's a lot more difficult. So you do that. If you're at work and you've been putting in a good amount of time, you may be able to get short-term leave and long-term leave. When I was with the convenience store chain, I took leave and it was great. I was able to manage things. But when I left that job and found another job and then left that job, I didn't have any work that I could get that would be full-time hours. It was all hourly, and the only hours I could get was unionized, and you were at the bottom of the barrel. So there's no program that diabetics can sign up, and just because you get diabetes, you get more money. Unfortunately, you have to look at private insurance, which is somewhat easier to get. I noticed a new online, there was a new advertisement. It was just one of those, flipping through Facebook or whatever, and it would come up. I look a lot at Tumblr pictures, and it came up saying insurance for type 1 diabetics. Well, it said all diabetics. I didn't check, I didn't take a look at it, because in my mind I'm going, yes, but it's probably going to be damn well expensive. So I didn't really look into it. So benefits, first look for work, seeing can you take some time off to get your diabetes under control. But I still feel most diabetics, you need to be out there working or going to school or whatever so that you can get the best control because you need to see how your life works. I had been trying that for years. I wasn't sort of like, oh, well, I don't think I can do it anymore. You know, so if you have work, you may be able to try that. Um, you can look online through CPP Disability. Will be able to give you a overview of how you would fill out the paperwork and what you would take to get it. I would strongly suggest, that you do not go with companies to say fill it out because they're just going to take a big portion of your benefit. Do it yourself. Work with your doctor. That's your best bet. Those are sort of the benefits we have as Canadians and British Columbians. You may find different outcomes, but I'm just saying that's sort of what I did. And with that, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye now. My email address is Mike's Diabetes World at gmail.com. All one line. Drop me